Welcome to Brag Radio, leading the world to be rich and generous. Hosted by Kandas and Larry Goins, best-selling real estate author. Whether it's learning how to be an active investor buying and selling houses or a passive investor earning double-digit returns, Larry and Kandas will show you how. In addition to helping you get started investing in real estate regardless of your current situation, they'll also show you ways to be generous with your time and resources. Let's get started with this week's Brag Radio, leading the world to be rich and generous. Here are your hosts, Kandas and Larry.
Hello, hello, hello. What's happening? That was a little loud, wasn't it? I'm sorry. Sorry, Chad.
It's all right.
You're going to have to tone it down a smidge, a skosh, a notch.
Tone you down?
Or 12. What's happening, Kandas?
Nothing much. You're requesting somebody to tone you down?
Just in the recording, not
Really?
me personally.
I think that's a first.
Yeah.
Ever.
I'm excited. I'm excited. We got our event going on this weekend, and it is slammed. It was full. We had a waiting list. 1,500
on the waiting
people?
list. No, 15 people on the waiting list.
15 people on the waiting list could not make it.
Nope. Can't make it in.
We'll have another one. That's okay.
In October.
And you know what? I'm really excited that this weekend we're doing our live event that we've been talking about on a lot of shows up to this point.
Right.
And we just got so many excited people and just wanting to get into real estate. But you know what? It's just such a wide range. People from all walks of life, careers. We got people who are airline pilots.
Yep.
We got people who are in the insurance business, who are already in real estate. Maybe they're realtors. Some of them are brand new. Some of them are just getting started. And some of them already own 30, 50, 100 houses, right?
And veterans. We've got veterans, too.
Awesome. We love the veterans.
Mm-hmm.
We do. Thank you for your service.
Doctors. I think we've got a doctor here. It's
Yeah.
always good to have a doctor on hand. You
It
never know.
is. It is, because you never know when you're going to
never
need
know.
one.
When Kandas is going to fall down. You just don't know.
That's true. Or
when I'm going to fall.
Or get pushed down when
or
they
get
run to
pushed-
the back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, or, yeah. Or
That's
get hit with a pin randomly thrown at me by
By who?
yourself.
By me? But
Or an almond to the eye or something.
In my defense, I do always close the pin before I throw it. In my defense.
Yeah, I'll give you that. However, the pin is still thrown.
That's true. That is true. So, look, Lynn sees me looking for a pin.
I don't think our listeners would like the fact
need
of you abusing me, throwing stuff at me.
It is not abusing you.
It's going to push a lot more people to say I need to get a new
Yeah, maybe so.
guest.
You need to get a new guest? That's funny. People have said that before. Kandas, when are you going to get somebody else on the show?
They do. Anybody that wants to say it this weekend while we're here at the event can go ahead.
Hey. Wait
We
a
got
second.
a whole other day.
One of the things I do want to talk about is, if you're just now joining us, if you can't tell, this is a real estate show. We are local.
I know it's hard to tell.
I know, right? We're here local in the Lake Wiley area, and thank you for spelling it like that, Lynn. When Lynn gave me a little gift card recently to get my car washed, apparently she saw how nasty it was.
And that was
Here's
just
your
from
gift
the outside.
card. Go get that. Go get that raggedy Lexus cleaned up.
She didn't even have to get in it to know that it needed to be clean.
Larry buys houses, but Larry doesn't wash cars.
There you go. That's true.
He does no rehab of any kind.
None. Zero
On
zip nada.
auto, nothing.
Zero zip nada. My wife gets in the car. I don't think my wife has gotten into my car in like the last 5 years that the first thing out of her mouth was, "What is that?"
So bad. So bad.
It's bad. It is, But anyway, it's me. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I wanted to talk
This
about.
is a real estate show.
It is a real estate show, and we're local investors. We buy and sell houses. We've done it in 12 different states, right from our office in Lake Wiley, South Carolina.
Right. Majority of what we do now, though, is just in the Carolinas.
That's true. And we're buying houses off of HUD and off the MLS and Craigslist, and we use bandit signs, and we have many, many other methods. And we actually have people come to our office just about every day. We have one or two tours, right?
Yeah, from braggers, from people that are listening to the show and just want to come in.
That's right. And BRAG, by the way, stands for Be Rich and Generous. We want to teach people how to go out and invest and make money, a lot of money, and then be generous with their blessings, right?
Yeah, so all you sending hate emails about why are we using brag, just stop it.
Haters gonna hate, all right?
Well, just stop it. Nobody's got time for it. You don't have time to be sitting there writing an email like that.
Ain't nobody got time for that.
I don't have time to be listening to it. If you would listen to the whole show, you would understand that we promote being generous, rich and generous. Understand?
That's right. That is right. And so anyway, we do coach and mentor people. We have people that come to our office about once every 6 weeks in small groups, and we teach them how to get into real estate, whether they want to be an active investor or a passive investor. And we're just doing a lot of deals, and they go right to the source, ground zero, where it all happens. Right?
Where it all happens for us.
So one of the things I did want to talk about on the show today to kind of start out is I want to talk about motivation versus education. And that's one of the things that I'm really, really proud of. In fact, a couple of people at the office this week. Now, I know radio is a 30,000-foot medium. I can't get in and talk to you about the intricacies and the details.
About the what?
The details.
No, the other word.
The intricacies.
All right.
Isn't that a word?
I think so. I don't know.
Maybe not the way
I don't know how to
it.
spell it.
Maybe I said it wrong. Anyway.
Chad's saying it's a word.
Yeah, that's the second time you pronounced it correctly.
Yeah. Thank you, Chad. I think.
I love when he feeds in. It's so funny.
The second time you said it right, Larry.
Intricacies and details.
And details of a contract, all the different clauses you put in, like how to structure a lease option or a land contract or how to wholesale a deal, specifics. It's hard to do that on an hour-long radio show, right?
Yeah, you don't need to do it on an hour-long radio show.
No.
There's too many questions. There's not enough back and forth with people with the questions that they're going to have.
But however, having said that,
you got a solution.
Well, I don't know about a solution, but I have had a lot of compliments about people saying that, Larry, a lot of the people who are teaching real estate, number one, they don't do it anymore. They just teach it, okay? Maybe they did deals in the past, but they don't anymore. But everything they talk about is motivation. Oh, real estate can make you millions. More millionaires made with real estate than any other source. And there's just so many things they talk about, motivation, getting up off the couch and doing something, turning the TV off. But we actually get into the details. Now, I know it's hard to do in a radio medium, okay, very much. But we do get into the details, especially like at our 3-day event when you come by and tour our office. And we have books and CDs and stuff like that you can get for free, absolutely free. Right, Kandas?
Right.
That's right. Yeah. So what
yes,
you can
absolutely free. What else needs to be added to that?
Exactly. You can call Macy.
877 Larry Go. Yes, that's what you do.
Yep. So, but anyway, that's one of the things that they really commend us on at the event too. When you come to one of our 3-day events, it's number one, it's me teaching it. Right.
Which is very different from the norm in the industry right now.
Yeah, if you see a lot of the infomercials and stuff come through town, you see a lot of that stuff, and they talk about the guy who wrote the book or is on the TV show or radio show or whatever, coming through town, but they don't really ever come through town. They send a team in, and we're actually in the trenches doing real estate, and we're the ones teaching it and working with the students and giving them the real, what I call meat and potatoes of the real estate investing strategies that not only we use, but, whatever's going to help them. And that's one of the things, guys, if you're wanting to get into real estate, if you've been thinking about getting into real estate, whether, you want to be an active investor or passive investor, and we can talk about that in the next segment, but if you're wanting to get into real estate, you need to find somebody like and trust, right, that is where you want to be. Don't listen to people who are naysayers. Don't listen to people who are wannabes, who maybe used to do it, doesn't do it anymore. Go straight to the source, whether it's us or anybody else.
Anybody else. Yeah, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Just don't let other people tell you your limitations.
That's exactly right. And there's a lot of good free information out there on the internet, whether it be at our website, LarryGoins.com, bragradio.com. All of our different sites, there's a bunch of different good information. But when we come back, we're going to get into some details about some real estate and cover some other things as well. So get your free investor's kit from us. It's a great place to get started and learn about real estate and what's out there that you could take advantage of.
Give Macy a call, 877-LARRY-GO. Tell her you want the investor's kit, either digital or physical. She'll let you know the details on how to get it. And schedule an office tour with her if you're close enough to come by and check us out. We'll be right back. And we're back.
What is happening?
I was trying to freak Chad out. I was watching him, and he had already pointed to me like 15 seconds went by, and I didn't say anything.
I know, right? Because we were listening to a little old Van Halen.
I wonder if we were just over here arguing about something or chatting about something.
Arguing. We don't ever argue.
Debating.
No, we... Give me a break.
We debate a lot. If
Chad
would just hop in and
like
say,
it, though.
And Chad would just hop in and say, "We're back," and then turn our mics on and let it just play out.
I'd start doing the show.
Like, all right,
you would
well, while
probably
they're like, I don't want to talk about that. Well, I'm talking about that next. Well, we're not talking about that. Chad's like, okay, here we go.
That's true. That's true.
Anyway.
So if you're just now joining us, Bragg Radio, leading the world to be rich and generous, investing in real estate. We teach you how to do it so you can go out there and make a lot of money and provide for your family and then be generous and help other people. That's what this show is about. We want to teach you how to make money and then have you go out there and be generous.
Give it away.
Make the world a better place.
You only need so much anyway.
Right?
You can only spend so much money.
That's true. That's true. That's like Bill, our student from down in Columbia. He's like, I got enough money. I'll never
spend the money
what
that
I have now. You know, I'm like, good. You're the ideal generous person, right?
I'm in line for him to adopt.
Yeah.
I'm in line for an inherited IRA.
Which is, by the way, the absolute best kind to have.
That is what you want.
Inherited IRA.
That's what you want to get.
And I'm not being silly about this or funny about it. That is the absolute best kind of IRA. If you know anything about real estate, if you know anything about self-directed IRAs, the absolute best kind is a inherited Roth IRA. Okay?
Yep.
And doesn't have to be your parents or grandparents or whatever. You want to go from the oldest person down to the youngest person.
Yep.
Because the ideal thing about an inherited IRA is, and I'm sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent, but it
happens on the show. If anybody has listened to the show for any period of time, they know your rabbit holes or your squirrels or whatever.
That's true. However, this is a good one. This is a really good one, and we're talking about it this weekend as well.
That's right.
So, but anyway, an inherited IRA, if you inherit a Roth IRA, first of all, a Roth, you don't have to pay taxes when you pull it out, okay? The taxes were paid on the money that was put in.
On the seed.
On the seed, not the crop, all right? So if you inherit a Roth IRA, or let's say your child or your grandchild inherits a Roth IRA, I don't even care if it's got $1,000 or $10,000 in it. They can take that money out tax-free over their life expectancy. So literally, you could learn to do real estate, or they could learn to do real estate, or whoever is kind of overseeing that, grow that account to, say, $1 million, and they're going to take, let's say they inherit it when they're 1 year old.
Right.
And let's say their life expectancy is 90. They take the value in the account, divide it by 90, divide it by 89 actually because they're 1 year old, and then they can pull that amount of money out every year tax-free, okay? Now, next year it's going to be divided by 88. Next year it's going to be divided by 87. Now, literally, that account can grow and grow and grow and grow and grow, and you can start with a very small amount, a couple $1,000s. By the time they're 80, there's several $1 million in the account.
Right.
Even if it only gets a 6 to 10% return on their money, millions and millions of dollars in that account. Because, think about it, if you started growing your retirement account when you were 1 year old, right? If you started, because most people only have a retirement account and they grow it for about 30 years, right? But think about it. If you could grow an account for 80 years, right, at 7.2% return, it's going to double. It's going to double every 10 years.
And you
right?
can keep it. You can keep it growing as you're taking the annual deduction.
Absolutely,
That's
you keep making investments and grow it, and oh, absolutely.
You take your minimum distribution out per year, while you're still growing the
Absolutely.
account.
And in fact, the
Tax-free.
account is growing more than you can take out.
Right.
It's growing more than you can take
Based
out.
on sheer volume that's in it, depending on
Absolutely.
how much you have in it.
Absolutely. And all that money can be taken out
Tax-free.
tax-free. And the reason I said, if you're getting 7.2%, there's something out there called the Rule of 72. Have you heard of that before?
I have.
It's the Rule of 72 means it's a way to figure out how many years it takes for your money to double. For example, okay, if you take 10% divided by 72, if you're earning a 10% return on your money will double every 7.2 years, right? Mm-hmm. Every 7.2 years. So basically, if you're earning 7.2%, your money's going to double every 10 years, right? Is that right?
Yep.
So if that's 8 times right there, your money can double, right? Let's say you started out at $10,000. It goes to 20. It goes to 40. It goes to 80. It goes to 160. It goes to 320. It goes to 640. It goes to 720, right? No, it goes to 120, 1.2, and then 2.4, 4.8, 7.2.
We get it. We got it.
No.
They got it.
8.6.
They got the picture, okay?
I'm sorry.
It doubles. Bottom line, it doubles.
You can't take that much out of it, right? As an RMD.
Right.
Okay, anyway, I got off on a tangent. I'm sorry.
But those are the best
But
kind.
inherited IRA is
Yes.
the absolute best kind to get.
Yes,
You know?
I want my grandmother to set 2 up, one for each of my daughters. And then I will grow them. And then when she passes, the girls will inherit them, and they can continue to grow them.
Now, here's the thing you need to do,
Or
Candace.
I can continue to grow
Candace,
them.
this is very important, okay? This is
What?
very important. So the IRA must be seasoned, okay?
Okay.
It needs to be in existence at least 5 years. But let's say your let's don't use you as an example because I don't want to,
She got 5 years left in her.
Okay, let's say she opened up an account she opened up an IRA account,
Yep.
okay? Mm-hmm. And she made your daughters a beneficiary. Mm-hmm. You want them undivided.
One for each. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you can split it out. No, you can split it out.
But that's a pain, though. From what we've heard, from what I've learned about them, you would rather there be separate ones. So there is no, division when it's passed down.
Well, you can either do one or two things. She can open up 2 IRAs and make, one of your daughters
For
a
each
beneficiary,
one,
one or the other. Or she can have one IRA, make them both beneficiaries, and then whenever they're inherited, then you separate them.
You could do it either way.
You could do it either way, absolutely. So let's say she opened it up this year, and unfortunately something happened, and she passes away. And I hate to even be saying this on the radio about your grandmother. I'm sorry. That's why I said I don't want to use her as an example.
She's got a straight line.
So
She's good.
anyway, that's right. That's good. So anyway, for the next 4 years, any money that's taken out or any growth in that account, you're going to have to pay taxes on. Okay,
Right.
If you grow that account, and you will grow that account.
Right.
Let's say you flip a few houses and you make $30,000-$40,000. Okay, in the next 4 years.
Yeah.
You're going to pay taxes on that $40,000. Or your daughters are. At their tax rate, and anything over their minimum is going to be taxed at your rate. So, but anyway, you can still grow it. But any growth during that first 5 years of seasoning, whether it's before or after the person is deceased, you're going to pay taxes on it, right? Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So, but you can still do that, and it's great. But an inherited IRA or an inherited Roth IRA is the absolute best kind of IRA because you could leave it to your children, your grandchildren, your great-grandchildren.
Or strangers.
Or
I'm available to fall into a beneficiary
and me
spot
too.
if you need it.
I got a grandchild as well. So anybody out there, it doesn't have to be blood relative. Okay, you come by the office. We'll show you how to do that.
Yeah.
It's funny. I've seen some people that set up arrangements with people that they're called financial friends, and they set up arrangements with people like that.
Yep.
Maybe they don't have somebody to leave an account to. Anybody can what's the right word? Bequeath? Is that the right word?
I don't know if that sounds.
Is that the right word?
That is.
Oh, thank you,
Is he
Chad.
using that in the right context?
He is, yes.
Yeah. So anyone can bequeath any asset they want to.
That just sounds weird.
To anyone. A lot of my stuff sounds weird.
Y'all
Are we done already?
Y'all give Macy a call,
Oh,
877-LARRY-GO. We'll be back, and we'll get back on track with motivation versus education. 877-LARRY-GO. Schedule an office tour. Grab the investor's kit. Get signed up for our next 3-day event. We'll be right back. Are we back? Hey.
We were just talking about successful students doing deals, making money, having fun, making money. If you haven't checked out our Facebook page, go to facebook.com/Larry H. Goins. Facebook.com/Larry H. Goins. And you'll see a student on there. Just became an Inner Circle student.
If you're a student, you'll see the student.
No. That's the page.
Oh, your page. Okay.
Simmer down.
I just didn't want you to be giving out incorrect information.
So anyway, you'll see a picture of a student that didn't they come from Bragg Radio? Didn't they hear us on the radio show? And that's the way they found out. I believe they did. Anyway, you'll see they just bought and sold a house, and they're holding up a check for $51,000. Now, not all that's profit. $20,000 was profit.
Still not a bad day.
That's not bad for their first deal.
20,000 is not a bad day. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so I was really excited for them. That's awesome. So anyway, last segment we were talking about inherited Roth IRAs. I kind of got off on a tangent, and I'm sorry. But I want to talk about a couple of things, okay? A lot of people have asked me about getting involved in real estate. A lot of people want to get involved in real estate. There's two kinds of real estate. Do you want to be active or do you want to be passive? Right, Kandas?
Right. Active or passive?
Thanks for your feedback, Kandas. Appreciate you. So an active investor is somebody, maybe you've got a job, maybe you like your job, maybe you don't, I don't know. But you want to get involved in real estate in an active, participating way. You want to, and let me tell you the different ways that you can be an active real estate investor, okay? You can wholesale properties. Wholesale properties. What is that about? That's what we do. We do a ton of it. In fact, I wrote the book about it, Getting Started in Real Estate Day Trading, buying and selling houses the same day using the internet. And if you're listening to this show, we give you a free copy. Just call Macy, 877-LARRY-GO. Anyway, so basically it's you negotiate deal, you find properties, you negotiate them, you get one under contract at a deep discount, and then you add 5, 10, or 20,000, like I just mentioned our student did, and then you sell it to somebody else. They're either going to do a fix and flip or a fix and rent or a seller finance or something like that, and you let them take the deal from there.
Right,
okay?
And you can add, like when he's talking about $10,000, $15,000, or $20,000 add-on, it's whatever the market's going to call for that property.
That's exactly right.
Leaving people in a good position.
But the formula is very simple. Let me give it to you right now. You take ARV, that's after repaired value, times 0.7, that's 70%, minus repairs, minus what you want to make on it. If it's $20,000, then whatever that number is, boom, that's how much you can pay for the property, okay? It's as simple as that. It's not very complicated, okay? All the other details is what bog people down, all right? So you can wholesale. That's one thing. You can do fix and flips. You can retail. People call it retailing. People call it a flip, a fix and flip. When you watch these shows on TV,
They do it in 30 minutes.
Yeah, really.
Or an hour. So
exactly.
Funny.
They do it in 30 minutes.
It's hilarious.
Really 20 minutes with commercials, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they buy a house. They go find the decorator. They pick up all the materials. They have a few arguments about it.
And then it's done.
They kick somebody off the job, and then all of a sudden it's an open house with a full price offer, right? So that's your fix and flip. That's the part I hate, by the way. I hate fix and flips. Okay, don't want to do them. You can't make me. You can't make me. Okay, I don't like dealing with
a rehab.
I don't like doing rehabs. I don't like dealing with contractors. I don't want to sit on the property. I want to shuffle a few papers, and the day I buy it, 30 minutes later, I'm selling it and I'm getting a check for $10,000, $12,000, $15,000, $20,000. something other like that, right?
Something or another.
So there's wholesaling, there's fix and flips, and there's other kinds of active investing as well. You can do what's called turnkey. Now, that's kind of like doing a fix and flip. There's people out there that buy properties, they fix them up, they put a tenant in them, okay? Once they put the tenant in it, then they sell it to a passive investor, okay? Somebody who is going to, to just write a check. Maybe they'll get a loan as well, but they'll write a check, and then they're just going to collect the monthly rent, okay?
Yep.
And those are called turnkey providers, okay? There's another kind of example that we could use is kind of halfway between wholesaling and retailing. Guess what it's called? Wholetailing. That's where you're going to buy a property. It's a real thing.
So original.
It's a real thing. So you're gonna get a property under contract, do a little bit of work, just a smidge.
Just a smidge.
Just get it.
Just some paint. Throw some curtains up.
Lipstick. That's what you call it. Lipstick right there.
Lipstick, okay.
Just throw some lipstick on it, okay? You put some lipstick on it, and then you sell it for less than retail, okay? It's not exactly a wholesale deal, but it's not a retail deal. It's a wholesale deal.
Got
right?
it. Mm-hmm.
So those are the active types of real estate that you can do as a business, okay? Now, there's also passive investing, all right? Now, a lot of people want to get into real estate, but number one, you might be retired. Just like, hey, I got some money. I'm tired.
Just make it work.
I'm tired of being in the stock market. My 401k has been turning into a 101k, or it's been growing and it's time to cash out so it doesn't turn into a 101k, right? So the stock market is so volatile. So they want to invest in real estate, but you don't want to have to deal with tenants, trash, termites, and toilets. And you don't want to have to rehab houses or deal with contractors or any of that stuff.
So what do you do?
So I'm going to tell you.
Get to it.
Simmer down.
Get to it.
So there's multiple ways you can do that, okay?
How are they? What are they?
Well, come on, Kandas. Leave me alone. It's been a long weekend.
You've been trying to get to this for 2.5 minutes.
Okay. So, all right. So the ways that you can invest passively, all right? You could be a landlord, okay? You could buy a property, get a property manager to manage it for you, and they're going to collect the rent. They're going to take care of the repairs, right? You could buy a turnkey property like I talked about. There's providers out there that sell turnkey properties where they're going to buy it, fix it up. Now, the sad thing about people who sell turnkey properties, most of the time, they're just retailing the house. They're not selling it based on the equity position. They're selling it based on the cash flow, okay? And yeah, they can get you a 8 to 10, sometimes a 12% return. That's true. They can. But, then you're going to have repairs, maintenance. You're going to have to pay the taxes, the insurance, and all that good stuff. But the good news is most turnkey providers also provide property management as well, okay? Mm-hmm. The next thing you could do is you could be a private money lender to an investor.
Really?
Yes, you can. There's a lot. Did I sound that bad? What am I doing over here?
That was awesome. That was spot on.
What did I do?
You just played right into us. Great.
So, okay, you can be a private money lender to a real estate investor, an active investor. Somebody that does
the way you did it the first time.
Somebody that wants to buy a property and fix it up and sell it, okay? Maybe they don't have the cash, okay, but they have some experience rehabbing properties. Maybe they're even a contractor, okay? A rehabber. They do this kind of stuff for a living for other people, but they want to get into the real estate game. You could loan them money, okay? We've done it. We've been lenders and we've been borrowers in the past,
right.
Okay? Mm-hmm. So you could do that. You could also buy notes. You could buy notes. Let's say I bought a property and I sold it. Say I sold it for $69,900. I got $5,000 down and I financed $64,900. Okay, so they owe me $64,900 and they're paying me based on a 9% interest rate. I could sell that note at a discount, maybe $55,000, and your yield would be around 12%. And then they're just making their payment to you like you are the bank. And the last and final way, as soon as we come back. I'm going to tell you about that, right, Kandas?
Why are you going to do that to people? Why are you going to do it to
Because
them?
we got to go to a break.
So here's the thing, though. Everything that we're talking about today is going over in a lot more detail. I would say extreme detail. All questions answered and everything at our 3-day event. So just give Macy a call, 877-LARRY-GO. Obviously, this weekend was sold out, but we've got one coming in October. And go ahead and get registered for that. And while you're at it, see if you can get her to schedule you an office tour to come by and pick up your physical investor's kit. If you're not close enough to do so, ask for the digital. 877-LARRY-GO. We'll be right back. Back with you here on Bragg Radio. Well, are you ready? Are you still gonna?
Oh yeah, I'm ready.
I'm
ready. I'm fired up.
All right. So, since you took so long getting to this last thing, we're now at the time where you need to give the last thing.
Well.
So we can move on to the next subject.
Exactly. So, anyway, we were talking about.
Do you know where you stopped?
I'm pretty sure I did. Let me just recap right quick. We were talking about the difference between active and passive. Active is you got a business, okay? Passive is you just want to write a check. Maybe you're retired, or maybe you're lazy, or maybe you're both, or maybe you just have anxious money on the sidelines not doing anything. You're like, hey, I want to try this real estate thing, but I don't care about dealing with tenants, trash, termites, and toilets or contractors, right? So you just want to write a check. So we talked about you could be, you could be a landlord, right? You could buy notes. We talked about that, right? Mm-hmm. And you could buy turnkey properties.
Right.
You could also be a private lender to another real estate investor, someone who is buying houses and fixing them up and selling them. You can earn good returns doing that. We do that all the time.
Very good returns.
Yeah, you can do that all the time. You could also be, now that's private lending, you could also be a hard money lender. In fact, we have a course that teaches people how to do that. It's called Hard Money Millions.
It teaches how to borrow, lend, and broker. All
That's
three
right.
aspects of it.
That's absolutely right. Now, if you think about it, if a real estate investor out there, maybe they went through some hard times, maybe something happened, I don't know, maybe they don't have the best credit, or maybe they just have never built a banking relationship, they might be willing to pay 10, 12, 14, 15% return interest rate on a hard money loan, right?
It's pretty common.
It's very common. It's very common. In fact, we were talking to some guys a couple weeks ago. No, last weekend. In Jackson, Mississippi, 15 and 5, 15% interest and 5 points. 1 point equals 1% of the loan amount. For example, if they loaned $50,000, that would be, and let's say 10 points, that'd be $5,000. 5 points would be $2,500.
Yep.
Right?
And those of you, like, I know some people are maybe thinking, no, you can't earn that kind of returns. You won't ever, that's a scam, blah, blah, blah. No, it's really not. But, I mean, if I were borrowing hard money from you and you said, no, I can't get that, something's got to be wrong. Something's got to be fishy with that. Okay. Would you be comfortable with 6%? That sounds more like
what's
it.
funny?
I'll be glad to pay 6% for hard money.
You know what's funny is I've seen so many students tell me, Larry, when I offered to pay somebody 12%, they're like, what kind of scam is this?
Backing away. I know.
But their
I've
money,
seen it myself.
Their money is sitting in Wells Fargo or Bank of America or Chase or somebody, and they're getting 1% return on their money.
0.75.
Yeah,
Not
less
even
than 1%. And then somebody comes along and says, I can get 12 times.
It freaks them out. Freaks them out.
So if you tell somebody, hey, I could give you 6% return, they're like, oh, okay, that sounds pretty good.
It sounds like a lot more doable. I'm not sure why 12% is scary, but if you're one of those people and you're like, yeah, I'd like to get my money working, but 12%, there's got to be something wrong with that. Do some research. Get educated. If you're really thinking seriously about getting in this business, at any aspect, to get educated so that you know what your money's worth.
That's right. And that was that last thing, is be a hard money lender.
And if you only want to earn 6%, you send me an email to info@braggradio.com, and I will make your money work. If you're
Kandas
only
will put it to work for you, right?
You only want 6%. You don't want anything else because everything else is a scam. You just send it to me.
That's cheaper than I charge you.
I know. I know. info@braggradio.com. That is your email address for that.
It's so funny. My son Noah, he does some hard money lending through my wife, sets it all up, of course. but he does some hard money lending, and he inherited a little bit of money from his grandparents. And anytime we have our inner circle people come to the office, if he's at the office, he's like, don't borrow money from my dad. Borrow it from me. I'll charge you 2% less, right?
Yeah, and 1 point less. Like he does. Yeah. He strikes deals up.
He does. Don't borrow it from my dad. Go to my dad for education, but borrow money from me.
Yeah. I've got cheaper rates.
And he's 13.
But he's not lying. His money is cheaper than yours.
That is true.
It is.
Unfortunately.
Anyway, now that I've shamelessly plugged myself for Hard Money Partners.
That's okay. You're going to get some emails.
I think so, too.
Yeah. And listen,
it's so funny.
Guys, you can tell Kandas what you're willing to loan her money for.
That's
6, 5, 4, 7, 8,
I'll pay all
whatever.
that.
Whatever it is, I mean, what are mortgage rates right now?
Yeah.
4-ish.
4.75, something like that.
So, I mean, think about it. Yeah, I mean, this is another good negotiating technique that you can use when you're buying a house from somebody.
Exactly.
I always ask the person, well, what are you going to do with the house if you don't sell it? If they say rent it out, then I say, well, I'm going to have to go to the bank to get the money, and they're probably going to charge me 4 or 5% interest. I'd just soon pay you that. What are you going to do with the money? Well, I'm going to put it in the bank,
Find out the need.
Well, I tell you what, if you're going to get 1% in the bank, how about I just give you 6% and you finance your property? If they say, oh, no, I couldn't do that. What, is your property now not worth that? Do you not feel comfortable with the security of your own house?
See the angles that you can take here, people. You need to come to a 3-day event. Stuff like this is just rampant at those things. We talk through all kinds of stuff like this, different scenarios. There's so much that you can do with real estate and different types of real estate, different angles you can look at real estate, different ways you can negotiate with people and look at properties and help people that need housing and stuff like that with real estate. It's a great investment.
Absolutely. And the other cool part about it is whether you're active or passive, as we've been talking about in this today's show, you can do it in an LLC, you can do it in a corporation, you can do it in a trust, and the best part, you can do it in an IRA. A self-directed IRA. Many people don't know that you can buy and sell real estate or buy and rent or do seller financing or even lend money from your IRA. You can do that. So if you've got an IRA and you're sitting on the sidelines, one of the books that we give you when you come to the office for the tour is a book by a self-directed custodian.
Right.
One of the oldest ones in the business. They have billions and billions under management. And they do this and have been doing it for years. They were some of the pioneers in doing this. And it has been, it has been on the IRS's books that you can use what's called alternative investments. And alternative investments, that definition is just anything that's not like your traditional, like a Charles Schwab or Fidelity or something would have, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, and all that good stuff, right?
Right.
An alternative investment would be real estate. Right? Real estate notes, doing private lending.
But it could go into anything. It could go into buying and refurbing different types of computers or something and reselling them.
Yeah.
Flipping RVs, flipping golf carts. I mean, you can do all kinds of things with that alternative investment within an IRA.
Absolutely you can.
Real estate's just what we know how to do it with.
That's true. And there's so many different ways you can use real estate. Like I said earlier, you can wholesale, do fix and flips, lease options, subject to, short sales. You can be a private money lender, hard money lender, buy and sell notes. You can buy performing notes, non-performing notes. You can do all this stuff in your retirement account. So give Macy a call and find out, come to our office. If you've got some money sitting on the sidelines, you need to figure out what to do with it. Come by and even look at our deals on the board and stuff. You'll see the deals on the board that we're doing, what we're buying them for, what we're selling them for.
I was supposed to bring up the deal board. I forgot.
That's okay. I got you covered. Yeah, when you come by the office, you can look at the deal board. You'll see all the deals. We got, 12 or 14 deals on the board right now that we're buying, and we got a team of several people in our office. You'll get to meet Sylvia, and Sylvia is just a sweetheart. You'll love her. That's Candace's mother-in-law.
Yep, the one
right?
I used to tell on the radio show not to be riding and driving. She was listening.
Right. She still listens, but she's at the office every day buying houses. She got 2 houses under contract last week.
She did.
I love her. She's awesome. And you'll get to meet Andrea. Andrea does all of our HUD stuff, and she buys all of our HUD houses, and she also does all of our closings. And then you'll get to meet Landon, right? Mm-hmm. Landon, and I like the way you stopped there. Landon's our 17-year-old hotshot, already sold 3 houses in like 3 or 4 weeks. Anyway, that's it.
Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Kandas. For more information about what Larry and Kandas talked about on today's Bragg Radio, leading the world to be rich and generous, go to braggradio.com. You can also call 877-LARRY-GO for a free investor's kit to schedule a tour of the office or get more information on upcoming events. That's 877-527-7946. Tune in again next Saturday as best-selling real estate investing author Larry Goins and co-host Kandas teach you the latest strategies and techniques the pros use to make money in real estate. It's Bragg Radio, leading the world to be rich and generous on News 1110 99.3 WBT.